Hi, welcome back to my channel on Reclaim with Dr. David, and so excited to talk about personality. And the personality is a big concept, and we can have some misunderstandings sometimes regarding personality. And these mistakes or misunderstanding can actually cost us a lot. And that's why I would like to talk about this topic today. I was inspired by the book that I read by Benjamin Bardi on this very topic. Actually, the title of the book is Personality is Not Permanent. So some of the ideas that I'll be discussing today are from that book, and also I used some other resources. Now, why do I want to talk about personality? It's because previously I've used different tools to help me understand myself and understand others. But eventually, after I read this book and given a thought about my previous experience with personality tests, I realized that actually I don't believe anymore in personality tests. I will discuss about this later on in the video. So this video has three main parts. I will introduce this topic by giving you a definition of personality, and then we talk about the myths behind personality, and we talk about the personality tests, and then we discuss about different ways that you can do from now going forward, some tips and things that I believe can help you. So let's keep going. What is personality? So there are a lot of definitions out there, but the main one, the one that I feel like is simpler and clearer, is one that I found on verywellmind.com, and it goes like this. Personality encompasses all of the thoughts, behavior, and patterns, and social attitude that impact how we view ourselves. I want to remember that one. How we view ourselves and what we believe about others and the world around us. That's very important. So, the way we view ourselves and what we believe about others and the world around us. Does this change over time? You can think about it or put it down in the comment below. Do you think that your view about yourself and your view about others and the world around you has changed over the time? Think about 5 years ago. Think about 10 years ago. Do you think it has changed? Because that's the basic of your personality. If that has changed, then your personality has changed. Previously, there's a study that was conducted by Harris A. Matthew and colleagues. This is a study that was conducted from 1947. It's actually a longitudinal study that has collected data on 14 years old in 1947, and they followed them 77 years later, and they compared their personality then and when they were older. So and they realized, they concluded that personality is not stable. It actually changes over time. It is unavoidable that change will happen. But I'm hoping that you will see how you can actually influence this change over time. What are the myths around personality? I'd like to discuss a few. The first one is, we have been told that personality can be categorized into types. This is not true. I don't believe in it, and I will tell you why. The Bible says that we were wonderfully made. See, you are so wonderfully made. You are sophisticated, much more complex and wonderful. You are too good to be put under a label. See, personalities, you cannot put them into categories. Let me just quote Carl Jung. He said once, "There is no such thing as a pure introvert or a pure extrovert. Such a man would be in the lunatic asylum." There is no such thing as extrovert or introvert. At the moment, you might be an extrovert. At the moment, now you can be an introvert. You might be an introvert. But that does not mean that you're going to be the same for the rest of your life. The way we act and react is actually situational. It's seasonal. It changes over time. Depending on what's around you, the people around you, the situations that you will go through in your life, that will shape you into a personality. And it's more likely that this personality you have today will change. So, therefore, the second myth that I don't believe in is that personality doesn't change, so it's actually change. Second, personality is fixed and innate. You were born that way. That's who you are. You were born that. So it's innate. It's fixed. No, it's not fixed. As we have seen already, personality changes over time. As your views change, so as your personality will change. Another myth is that personality is the authentic you, is the real you. Also, that's not true. A personality is just a behavior. It's a small entity of who you are. It's a small part of who you are. Tiny. There's a bigger aspect of who you are. So you should never use your personality as your identity, as who you identify as. No, you are greater than that. You're bigger than that. Lastly, we have all been told, maybe, I don't know you, but I've been told that once you have discovered your personality, then you can live the life you wanted. As if you discover your identity, that's the answer to everything. No, I don't believe in that either, because a personality, as we said already, is just a tiny bit of you. And most importantly, the identity, the way you see yourself, the way you feel yourself, is a product of your past and your current self. That's why when we are doing the personality test, we give the information, we fill in the data. Where do we get that data? That data is from our past experience and the current experience. So, and if that is what's going to determine the future that you want, then that should be what energizing you or equips you to do what you want to do in the future. That's the only way you can say that, according to what they said, that once you could discover your personality, then you'll be able to live the life that you wanted. If you discovered your personality for today, it should be a starting point for what you want to build towards your future. So we come back to the personality test. Now, I want you to think about this. You are looking at me right now, right? You can see me, but what you see is not really me. What you are seeing is your interpretation of me. Now, think about it this way. When you see the image of me, the image and the sounds that you're hearing, they are going to be imported into your brain. Your brain will process, we generate information, we generate the data, and that data will be based on your previous and current experience. If those experiences have been good, for example, if the person who looks like me or sounds like me, you will start thinking about a person maybe that looks like me or sounds like me in your data. If that experience with such person was good, then it's more likely that you're gonna think positively about me. But if in your data a person who's like me, who sounds like me, who looks like me, was not a good person, or you did not have a good experience with them in the past, it's more likely that right now you're going to think about me negatively, and I'm cool with that. All right, but let's think about the personality test. Now you're thinking about yourself. Whatever they're going to put on that test are going to reflect your experience in the past and what you're going through right now. And because it's self-reported, it's going to be biased, because you more or less are going to give the data based on how you feel today, based on what happened to you in the past, based on the experience that you felt in the past. And this can be detrimental. This can be destructive, because if in the past you were discouraged by someone who told you, you are this kind of person, you can't do this, you should not try that, then you're more likely, if you believed that, you're more likely going to put that on the paper, on the test. And this can be something that happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or even longer, that made you believe that you're a certain type of person. And because of your belief and the way you view yourself, that's from our definition of personality, because of the way you view yourself and the way you view others around you, you're going to give a certain type of feedback, or you're going to respond in a certain way that's going to generate a personality that is of a certain kind. So it's very important that we understand that the personality that we are living in today is the product of what we have lived in the past and the kind of life we're living in today. So it's important also to understand that the way the personality is situational. Think about it. If when you were at work, do you think you behave the same way as when you are at your house, at home, maybe with your children and your spouse? No, you don't. Think about it again this way. When you are in situations that are more, that put you at ease, when an environment that puts you at ease, do you act the same way as when you are in the situation or in an environment that you don't like? No. When you're in a place that you don't like, you act a certain way. What about? Let's ask ourselves, why don't you like that place in the first place? Maybe you don't like that place because of something that happened to you in the past that made you don't like this place, that make you act the way you're acting, that makes you think that you are this kind of person. It's possible. I'm just saying. So it's really important that we understand that this is actually situational. It's seasonal. Lastly, on this point of test or personality test, it's always important to approach these tests in a growth mindset. If you approach these results that you got in a fixed mindset, you embrace this identity and you actually accept that this is who you are from now going forward. But from what we've talked about so far, I hope that you see that actually your personality is not who you are. It's not who you are. So approach the results that you have. That may be, that's one thing that actually I like about personality tests. They show you your strength and your weaknesses. But that doesn't have to end there. Because if you approach it as in a fixed mindset, you're going to own those weaknesses. When anything happens in the future, you won't even want to attempt. You say, no, that's my weak area. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to fail. This is not going to succeed. Let me ask somebody else. Or if someone is asking you, say, no, go and ask somebody else because I cannot do this. I'm this kind of person. You see how it can actually destroy your life or actually impede your progress. So approach this with a growth mindset, saying that, this is what I am now. These are my weaknesses now, but I can use this strength to actually grow these weaknesses. So in the future, I can be who I want to be. And that's where I want to close this video at. What can you do now going forward? It's very important that you have a clear clear picture of your future. Who do you see yourself becoming in the next 5 years, next year, next 2 years, next 10 years? What kind of person do you want to become? And don't you let these results dictate what you want to choose. Whatever that you feel in your heart, whatever that you have felt in your heart for years, whatever that you feel God is telling you, He's calling you to do, pursue it regardless of what the test says. Now have a clear picture of what you want to become in the future. What are your goals in the future? And now think about the personality the personality traits that are required to be able to attain that future. For example, you might be a shy person. That's what we were told. We have all been. You've probably. I know people. You probably know also people who used to be shy, but now they are not. You probably heard of people who used to be shy, but they're not today. How did that happen? Because they chose to work on those weaknesses, and now they've overcome them. The same with you. If your future includes public speaking, for example, and you're a shy person, don't you let that stop you. Think about how you can improve in that area so that tomorrow you'll be more confident to stand in front of people and say what you think and express yourself. So I want you to use this personality test in your own advantage. Going forward in the future, I want you to remember there's a quote from John F. Kennedy. He was an American politician and 35th president of the United States of America. He said once, and I quote, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." So if you're constantly looking to the past and the present, which is your current personality, which is your current results from the personality test that you took, or any other tools that you're using to be able to understand your personality today. That is your past and your present. What you need to do now is look into the future. According to John F. Kennedy, if you keep looking into the past and present, you will miss the future. In essence, the future will never happen. You will never have the future. You only constantly live in the past and the present, and that's it. And maybe just the past. In his quote, you realize he said, change is the law of life. So you're going to change regardless. Regardless of what happens, you're going to change. There are also, as I said, there are scientific proof, studies that have shown that your personality will change throughout the course of your life. is the law of life. But what you can do now is influence that change. I will link this, one of the videos that I talked about change and how we can embrace change and influence change. So do not let things happen to you. Let things happen for you. Let things happen for you. Whatever that happens in the past, do not put yourself in a position where you just want to complain about your past. Don't just complain about your past as if something really horrible happened and then you are putting, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable area where you just want to live in the past. No, learn from your past and get out of the past and face the future and walk towards your future. So it's very, very important. The other thing that I want you to be aware of, we quote James Clear. He's the author of Atomic Habits. This is what he said. He said, the more an idea is tied to your identity, the more you will ignore evidence it is false. So these tests that we do, or whatever that people have told you, your family, your friends, they told you this is the kind of person that you are. If this type of personality, you have embraced it as if that's who you are, it's going to be difficult for you to get rid of, because then you end up embracing this personality as he said, if you tied it to your identity, if you see yourself as that person and you let that label goes on you, the more the idea is tied to your identity, the more you will ignore evidence, even if there is ample evidence that suggests against whatever that you're saying, you will defend that. So we don't want to get there. So today I beseech you, I beg you to not continue living in the past. Get out of your past, move on into the future. And I believe that you will see amazing things happen to you. You will change, and you will change for the better. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, share the video for those that you feel that this could help, and also comment. You don't have to agree with everything that I said. Tell me what you think. I might learn one or two things from you as well, or the audience might learn from you as well. So go ahead and leave a comment as well. And there's a video that I want you to watch. You might find it, I think you might find it also helpful. It's a video on how to break free from your past. I will link it as well so that you can watch it. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope this video was helpful. God bless you.